What's up, guys? Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories unfolding in the world of cryptocurrency right now. What I'm about to share with you could redefine how we think about blockchain infrastructure, scalability, and the very future of decentralized networks. And yes, you guessed it, we're talking about Caspa, a project that many in the community are calling unmistakable and unparalleled. Strong words. But once you dig into what's happening behind the scenes, you realize those words aren't an exaggeration. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing in crypto. Caspa is not just another blockchain attempting to follow the same linear path we've seen countless projects take. Instead, it has introduced something revolutionary, a BlockDAG structure. For those who may not be familiar, a DAG, or directed acyclic graph, allows blocks to be processed in parallel rather than sequentially. Imagine watching neurons in a human brain fire off in real time, creating connections everywhere at once. That's essentially what Caspa's architecture looks like in action. Blocks interacting in harmony, interconnected like a living network rather than a straight line. This isn't marketing fluff. It's a fundamental leap forward that changes the way we understand throughput and scalability. Now, let me ask you this. Do you really believe traditional blockchains, with their one block at a time linear approach, can keep up in the long term? When solutions like Caspa are already showing us a glimpse of what's possible, it feels like we're standing at the doorstep of the next evolution in crypto infrastructure. And just when you think the story can't get any more interesting, it does. According to Katrine, better known as @CaspaGirl on X, she has been closely monitoring activity from Binance. If you know Binance, you know that they never make major moves without subtle hints and signals first. What she's observed suggests that Binance may be preparing for something huge related to Caspa. When she mentioned the Brain X100 concept and the ongoing DAO governance hype, it suddenly clicked for many in the community. The biggest exchange in the world could very well be aligning itself with Caspa's BlockDAG breakthrough. Think about how powerful that is. We're talking about a digital ledger that's clean, transparent, and fair. No early investor premiums, no unfair token distributions, 10 or more blocks per second processed efficiently, and a community-driven model powering it all forward. Doesn't that sound like the exact kind of project major exchanges want to back right now, especially when global regulators are scrutinizing everything from tokenomics to fairness? Which leads to an exciting possibility. Are the chess pieces quietly being positioned for one of the most important listing announcements of the decade? But wait, it gets even more extraordinary. Recently, something happened that caught the attention of nearly everyone in the crypto world. Nick Szabo, the legendary computer scientist and cryptographer who literally coined the term smart contracts, returned to Twitter after 5 years of silence. And guess what? His reappearance came just one day after Caspa announced smart contracts. Coincidence? Maybe. But the fact that Szabo immediately began engaging in discussions surrounding Caspa feels like much more than random timing. You have to understand the weight of this moment. For years, many Bitcoin OGs and early computer scientists have either ignored Caspa or brushed it aside. Yet Szabo chose this exact time to re-enter the conversation. When someone with his reputation, someone whose work shaped the foundation of crypto itself, decides to break years of silence to talk about a specific project, that sends a message louder than any marketing campaign ever could. It tells us that Caspa is not just another experiment, but a project worth taking seriously at the highest levels. Of course, no project is without challenges, and Caspa is no exception. A key issue that some community members have raised involves its Layer 2 implementation and how transaction fees are distributed. As it currently stands, 99% of fees flow to Layer 2, leaving just 1% for Layer 1. While this may boost miner income on Layer 2, critics argue it could threaten the long-term sustainability of Layer 1's security budget. Some voices are even calling for an increase in base fees to ensure that Layer 1 remains adequately incentivized. It's a fair debate, and one that highlights the growing pains of an ecosystem that's still evolving. The question is, are these temporary hurdles, or could they signal deeper structural issues down the road? Now, let's pivot to Kaspa's market performance, because the numbers tell their own fascinating story. At the start of this week, Caspa was trading around 7.5 cents, struggling to hold critical support levels. This comes despite the excitement surrounding Casplex, the Layer 2 launch featuring smart contracts and EVM compatibility. On paper, this milestone should attract developers in droves. Yet the price has not reflected the breakthrough many expected. So, the million-dollar question becomes, is the market underestimating Kaspa's potential, or are smart investors quietly accumulating while retail traders remain distracted elsewhere? If you zoom into the charts, the picture becomes clearer. Since mid-September, Kaspa has been locked in a downtrend. Lower highs and lower lows dominate the 4-hour chart, with sellers firmly in control. The 7.2 to 7.3 cent support zone has proven resilient twice, once in early September and again later in the month. On the flip side, resistance levels have stacked up between 8.1 and 8.5 cents, with another wall near 9 cents rejecting multiple rally attempts. Unless bulls can push through those barriers, the broader structure remains weak. So what do you think? Is this just a healthy period of consolidation, or is it a warning sign of further declines? Looking at the technical indicators, RSI has been fluctuating between 29 and 47. With 29 as a strong support level, Kaspa currently sits near oversold territory. That typically suggests selling pressure has dominated, but it also hints at the potential for a bounce if momentum shifts. Meanwhile, open interest has dropped from about $488 million to $477 million, signaling that leveraged traders are closing positions. Net longs sit around negative $140 million, while net shorts climbed past $200 million, meaning bearish bets are outweighing bullish ones. No wonder recovery has been so tough. Yet this kind of lopsided sentiment sometimes sets the stage for a contrarian rally. Could that be the opportunity here? In the short term, Kaspa's roadmap is fairly straightforward. If the project holds its ground at 7.2 to 7.3 cents, the next target becomes 8.1 cents. But bulls need to break firmly above 8.5 to 9 cents to shift sentiment toward the $1 level. Failure to defend the current support, however, could send prices tumbling to 6.8 or even 6.5 cents, particularly if the broader crypto market continues to suffer under bearish pressure. So the path forward depends heavily on whether bulls can reassert control. Are you preparing for a bounce, or are you waiting for deeper discounts before loading up? Now, let's step back from the charts and look at the bigger picture. Chris Hutchinson, a well-respected analyst, has been vocal about Kaspa's potential. According to him, Kaspa is capable of handling around 5,000 transactions per second while preserving the decentralization and security of Bitcoin's proof-of-work model. That's a staggering claim, and Hutchinson has faced plenty of criticism for it. But here's the thing. His conviction hasn't wavered. In fact, it's grown stronger over time. He insists that Kaspa will eventually become the most widely used crypto technology in the world. When someone stands firm in the face of criticism and backs it up with technical reasoning, it's hard to dismiss outright. What makes this moment even more compelling is the timing of multiple developments. The rollout of smart contracts, the return of influential voices like Szabo, and the hints from major exchanges like Binance. When all these puzzle pieces come together, you start to see the outline of something big forming. Some are even calling this the perfect storm scenario that could propel Kaspa into mainstream adoption. And when you remember that BlockDAG tech directly addresses scalability issues that have plagued blockchain for years, all without sacrificing decentralization, it's no wonder institutions are starting to take notice. Here's something else to think about. Many experts describe proof-of-work systems that combine high throughput with genuine decentralization as the holy grail of blockchain technology. Almost every project sacrifices something, either scalability, security, or decentralization. Yet Kaspa seems to be delivering all three in balance. And this isn't just theory. Real-world metrics back it up, with actual performance numbers proving what's possible. That's what separates Caspa from projects that overpromise but underdeliver. Another fascinating angle is the impact of smart contract functionality combined with EVM compatibility. Essentially, Kaspa is bridging the gap between Bitcoin's security model and Ethereum's programmability. Developers now have the best of both worlds: robust security without giving up on flexibility. And the most exciting part? Developer activity is rising organically. This isn't growth fueled by artificial incentives or inflated rewards. It's genuine adoption driven by the technology itself. Historically, that kind of growth is a far more reliable indicator of long-term sustainability than short-term price action. The broader implications stretch beyond Caspa as a single project. BlockDAG architecture could reshape how future blockchain systems are designed. What was once considered theoretical has now been proven practical. We're seeing measurable improvements in throughput and scalability, all while protecting decentralization and security. That's not just an incremental upgrade. That's the foundation of a new era in blockchain technology. And this is where strategy comes in for investors. Short-term volatility might shake out weak hands, but those who understand the underlying fundamentals could view this period as prime accumulation territory. Think about some of the biggest success stories in crypto. Often, their explosive growth phases came after long periods of sideways price action. Kaspa's oversold technicals combined with groundbreaking fundamentals suggest we could be looking at a similar setup right now. The question is, are you the type of investor who buys during uncertainty, or do you prefer to wait until the trend is obvious and risk missing the largest gains? So, what's the takeaway from everything we've covered today? Caspa is not just another project competing for attention. It represents a genuine leap in blockchain architecture through its BlockDAG design. Major signals are pointing toward increased recognition. Binance hints at potential moves, Nick Szabo breaking years of silence to talk about Caspa, and ongoing debates about Layer 2 show that the ecosystem is alive, engaged, and maturing. The price action may seem lackluster in the short term, but history tells us that markets often underestimate true innovation until momentum makes it impossible to ignore. At its core, Caspa combines scalability, decentralization, and security in a way that few projects ever have. It's building bridges between Bitcoin-level trust and Ethereum-level programmability. It's sparking organic developer activity, and it's gaining attention from both long-term believers and institutional players alike. So now the question is yours to answer. Are we still in the early stages of discovery, with most of the world asleep on Caspa's potential? Or are we about to witness one of the most important turning points in crypto history as BlockDAG technology takes center stage? Thanks for watching. Like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe if you want more real-time updates, moves, market trends, and hidden gems.